You didn't come here for food porn. There it is. My chicken parmigiana. It's like half of it, dude. Yeah, so I'm gonna try not to knock my light over and go into a food coma here on Friday, April the 23rd. Oh my, I had that, some fried pickles, and then the dessert came with it, like a little peach cobbler, kind of, so good. So if I just doze off in the middle of this, I can cut it out, right? But anyway, Mortal Kombat, yes, I could not do combat right now. Oh, I couldn't even walk home. I was like, can I get, I asked my friend Marilee, I'm like, I am too fat right now. Like, can I just get a ride home? So yes, I would lose, but I don't have the marking as far as I know, so I should be safe. I'm going to try to do as spoilery of a review as I can. Sometimes I guess I feel like you kind of got to get into it. The best way I can explain it is I enjoyed the first movie, the original movies. I don't remember liking the second movie as much as the first, and I kind of feel like that's the general consensus about them. You will die. I remember that it's the big cheesy line from it, and that was kind of like, we'll get into that in a minute. I guess the best way I can explain it is I enjoyed this new reboot at least as much as the original movie, the first original movie, but I'm not sure which one I like more. I don't think I'm going to get spoilery from this point on, but I'm going to start rambling and words are going to come out of my mouth, so I guess I'll just put up a spoiler warning without saying too much, hopefully. I don't know, it just, in some ways it kind of seemed to happen, like, really fast, like, and sometimes that's not bad when a movie gets started real quick, you know, and then it goes from there. It's like Labyrinth, one of my favorite movies ever. It's like, you know, Sarah's being a little whiny bitch, and then the Goblin King shows up, and the baby's kidnapped, and she has to go save the baby. Like, all that happens really fast. And in this movie, I feel like a lot of it happens really fast, like, and at one point, one of the characters says something about this doesn't seem, oh shit, what is it that he says? Yeah, I just had it in my head. You know, it seems like a surprise attack, basically. And I mean, maybe that's the way that it's supposed to feel, because it's kind of like it just all kind of comes out of nowhere almost. Well, I mean, we have the scene at the beginning that's kind of back in the past, and then we come to today, and then it's kind of like everything kind of like gets rolling. Yeah, because it's kind of like they go from like finding out about it to like being there and then doing training. In some ways, well, there are some fight scenes along the way, and in some ways that kind of reminded me of because that's kind of what I remember about the Van Helsing movie with Wolverine in it, whose name I can't think of right now because I'm in a food coma. Dude, Hugh Jackman. Is I sort of remember in that movie, it's just kind of like, that movie kind of felt like one long fight scene from what I recall, and it's kind of like the fights never stop. And in some ways, it's kind of a mix of like what I felt about Van Helsing and the reboot. The best way I can explain it, the reboot of Power Rangers from a few years ago. It's like and there's even a Power Ranger in this movie as one of the characters. But yeah, except for, you know, we don't have to wait till the very end for them to get their powers and for them to start kicking ass. You know, like we get some fight scenes along the way here or there. And best character in the movie, everyone say it with me, Kano. Yeah. He's just a lot of fun. He gets all the best lines in the movie, I feel like. And Sonya Blade actually got some good character development to her. I mean, I guess the characters kind of, some of them feel more fleshed out than others. Some of them are just kind of like there, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a character from the game, so here I am, you know. And I mean, they all kind of have a little bit here and there, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, because it's like the trailers and everything, they make it look like they take it very seriously. There's a very serious, and I mean, for the most part they do, I guess, but then they kind of like, they try to insert like some MCU humor in there. Of course, Kano. And then they kind of like it kind of comes off a little bit cheesy when it's like they do those lines, like fatality, and like they sneak that in there. And I don't I've played the first game. There's a mix of characters, like what I remember being the main characters, and some characters from like later games that I don't necessarily know as much. There are some some Easter eggs in there. Luckily, I went to the movie with somebody who knew the story and knew the games, and because I played the games, and I know like if you beat it, you get the character profile and you get to read all about like what their past was. I remember there was a thing between Kano and Sonya Blade. I don't know necessarily what I remember from the games and what I remember from the movies, because I remember the movies probably better than the games because I didn't play them that much. But yeah, it is a little bit gorier than the first. They did promise you get to see some of the characters' fatalities. Speaking of that, when they do those things, so they do say, because they did say that they were gonna, for the time, Mortal Kombat was like, the parents were up in arms because the game was so violent, and so bloody and gory and whatever. And there is some in there. There's, I guess, when they were talking about like it was going to be, they were talking about it going to be in there. I thought it was going to be in there a lot more than it actually was. But I mean, there are some scenes. Ooh, lightning! Hello. There are some fatalities that you get to see in this that are quite interesting and look fairly brutal if they were to happen to an actual person. Lord Raiden. Apparently, I don't have I upset him? I don't know. But yeah, it starts kind of fast because like things are just like, bippity boppity booing, and then all of a sudden they have to slow down, and they're like, well, now you have to train and you have to reach your inner chi basically, or what I can't remember what it's actually called. Fans of the games can probably tell you better than I can. I think the word started with A. It was something about their inner something. They're midichlorians. I don't know. That's not right. Touchdown. I'm way off. It's fine. But so yeah. But I mean, there's some stuff that kind of happens. I don't know. It's kind of like, I mean, I did enjoy it, but I don't know. Sometimes like, I don't know if the tone, like I said, kind of felt off because it's like they're trying to do it serious like, but also kind of have that like cheesy video game like homage to like, we know you're waiting for these characters and we know you're waiting for these fatalities and these moments and these things when they say like Kano wins, that kind of thing, which I guess is kind of maybe in character for Kano. I don't like, I enjoyed it, but I don't necessarily know that I enjoyed it more than like the original actual movie. And to be honest, and this is probably maybe spoilerish-y, the whole thing kind of felt set up for the sequel more than, but they did, like I said, they did a better job with that than the Power Ranger reboot a few years ago, because then it was kind of like, oh, they all have feelings, and well, now they have powers, and the movie's over, goodbye, So at least with this, you do get to see their special powers and their kind of things all along the way. There's fights, there's things to keep it interesting all the way, but it does sort of feel more like a prequel movie, because it kind of feels like maybe it just got started and then it's kind of like, oh, goodbye, kind of thing. I don't know. It was kind of. That's what we were discussing about how it just kind of feels like, and I hope they do get a sequel. I feel like a sequel. This movie wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say this movie was bad. I just don't know if I enjoyed it. I don't know. I'd have to because it's been a while since I watched the original Mortal Kombat, and I would have to reintroduce myself to that one to figure out which one I enjoyed more. Because cheesy fight movie. Like, that's fine. And they did try to, like, some of it was kind of a cheesy fight movie, but then some of it was trying to be maybe like take the material more seriously, and it's kind of, so there's kind of like a tonal weirdness to it that just doesn't quite fit, but it's still an enjoyable film. It's still, you do get to see, I think Mortal Kombat fans will enjoy it. I don't know, I never got to see was it like a fan film or something, or a fan series online a few years ago? I might still be going, I don't know. There's maybe some people in there, some characters in there that I didn't know. There's, I guess this might be spoilers. I don't know. Some of the bad guys I didn't know who the guy with the big hammer was, or the chick with the wings, and the Kano's buddy. I didn't know him, which I still. My friend told me his name. They tell you his name in the movie. Like, they're sure to introduce every single character in the movie so that you know what their names are. But I've forgotten all of them. So I think Mortal Kombat fans will enjoy it. Somebody who lightly played the games but did enjoy the original movie of the game, I enjoyed it. I'm just not sure which one I liked better, because, the old one... I don't know, like, it had the action, but it did have the comedy too. It had the, it's like, now this is when you fall down, or whatever. Like, there was some cheesy kind of like, 80s action movie kind of. I mean, I know it wasn't made in the 80s, but that kind of like, remember when I said I'd kill you last? I lied. Like those old cheesy like action movie lines that, like, Schwarzenegger or Stallone or somebody would say, but I guess maybe the tone in that movie is more like level. I don't know. It's kind of like tried to be serious, but then sometimes not, and kind of like nod to the game, like, yeah, we know what you're here for, kind of thing, but I feel like a second movie will be stronger and will be better, and I hope they get a second movie. I don't know. I would think that Mortal Kombat fans would enjoy this, because I feel like there's definitely enough there, and definitely enough nods to the super fans. Like, I heard my friend do his squeal a couple of times. He was like, "Ooh," and so I think, as somebody who enjoys Mortal Kombat, I think he was, okay with it. I think he said he still feels like he likes the original film better. And I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I almost want to put the original movie a little bit over this one myself at the same time, but I think I do. I think I put the original film just a little above this one. Not that they can't get that back, but I mean, I think a second film will maybe be on the same level as the original movie. Probably better than the original sequel, and maybe even surpass it, because like maybe they can get that kind of, now that they've gotten all the exposition and your powers come from your inner chi, whatever, blah 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 blah, and you have to unlock your power, and now that they've got all of that bullshit out of the way, I'm okay with it. And you know what? I have to give a shout out. There's one character in there I do have to give a shout out to, and it's the main character's wife. Like, she's just like a human, and at some points, she is put in the, not necessarily the damsel in distress role, but she just kind of like stands there and lets things happen. But then at one point, the line is literally, "Fuck this," and she helps a little bit. So shout out to Cole's wife. I don't remember your name, but you got a little bit badass in you too. So maybe you can. Maybe she's a character from the games. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know them well enough. And as far as the main character Cole himself goes, this is definitely spoilery. So I mean, don't go no further if you don't want spoilers. Because I had to look at my friend at the end of the movie. I'm like, okay, since I'm with people that know have the knowledge. I'm like, was he a character from one of the games? Did he turn out to be a character from one of the games? And my friend kind of like was looking up, and he's like, I don't know. And he thinks it's two characters mixed together. I kind of said he was Martheev from Planeteers because his power was heart. Um, yeah, whatever. But he thinks it's like an amalgamation, or however you would say that. It's like a combination. He thinks they've combined two different characters into one to create this whole new character of Cole, whoever it is that he, turns out to be. I guess I won't, because I don't remember which characters he said that they might be a mix of, but yeah. So I mean, I guess it's spoilery-ish, but not still not quite giving it away, But so anyway, I did enjoy it, and I still think I guess for the better tonal, all of it between the action and the goofy and the cheesy and the blah 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 blah. I think the original film still does it better, but I feel like a sequel to this one, could blow the whole thing out of the water, and I'm hoping they do get a sequel. I really do, because they went ahead and set it up, so it's like, come on now, it's kind of, was it the Fantastic Four movie? Where it's like they have that big action sequence with Doctor Doom, and then like the movie's over. That's kind of what this felt like. It's like they have their, they've had their little fights all along and whatever, and then like there's the big thing at the end, and then suddenly it's like, well, now we have more work to do or whatever, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's it, And they did, okay, this is definitely a spoiler. The movie ends setting up another very main character. Another very, I believe, well-loved character. A very popular character. So don't worry about that. They might be missing from this movie, but they definitely plan on giving this person to you in the sequel. So the more they have to do is collect more of the combatants, or whatever they're called, the contestants for this Mortal Kombat or whatever, and they kind of like, once again, I keep comparing it to the other movies, but at the end of the Power Rangers movie, it's the post-credit scene or mid-credit scene, whatever, where it's like, Tommy Oliver, and they close up on a green hoodie. There is a character missing from this movie that will definitely be in the sequel. So, you can probably guess who that character is if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, and you maybe were disappointed that this person was not in this film. But if they get a sequel, they are coming. But anyway, so yeah, it's enjoyable. It is. There's some good action in there. There's some good sequences. There's some, and I think maybe just, people, action movies. If you like action movies, you'll probably enjoy it. Like, you don't even necessarily have to know the characters. I don't really think it's important necessarily, because they kind of tell you what you need to know along the way, which is what I'm saying. It's kind of like the prequel kind of thing, or like every movie, like, if it's Spider-Man, they're gonna kill Uncle Ben again. Jesus fucking Christ, like there's all of these beats usually when they reboot a series, but it's been a while since we've had a Mortal Kombat movie. Like I said, I think there's that online fan series or something, but not everybody's seen that probably. I don't know. I haven't. I meant to watch it, but I never did. But so they had to kind of set up the universe and set up how things work again. And I don't know how well the original movie did at that either. It's just kind of like, hey, there's this combat thingy going on, I think the pacing of the original movie is probably a little bit better too, because it's kind of like, I kind of wish they'd pulled back a little bit on that, because it's like we get a scene we get the first scene, which is back in the past, and then we get a little bit of Cole, and then I mean I guess it's kind of setting up what's going to happen soon. But it's kind of like then we get to see like the main bad guy, Shao Kahn. Is that the main bad guy? They tell me their names, but it's not like I remember them. Obviously with Kano's friend. So then we like see Sub-Zero talking to the main baddie guy, and he's like, I mean, I guess it's setting up the film and what's about to happen, because he's like, basically go kill anybody, who has this mark or whatever, I don't know if it's the bloodline of the blah 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 blah. That might be a little bit spoilery. I think they might have explained that in the trailer for the thing. I don't know. And then we go back to Cole, and then it's kind of like, oh, Sub-Zero comes after them, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. Like everything, like kind of, like it goes off, and then it kind of pulls back. And then then it rushes forward, and then the movie's over. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of all over the place, some, with like tone and pacing. Yeah, but I mean, it's still okay. It's still good. I still enjoyed it. I'll still buy it. I'll watch it again, just like the original Mortal Kombat movie. Which now I need to rewatch. I need to rewatch the second one. I know it's terrible. I know it's horrible. Sometimes I like cheesy movies. It's fine. Send him cheesy movies. I don't think Mystery Science Theater never did it, but maybe the what's the other one? They all have side projects that they do from Mystery Science Theater. Maybe one of them did it. I don't know. did the second Mortal Kombat movie? Maybe I'll have to watch it with them first. But any boobs. I managed to stay awake for however long this is. Macy's starting to freak out because of the rain and the thunder. She does not like thunderstorms. So she survives all of them, but for some reason, not a fan. So anyway, that's what I have to say, I guess. And hopefully the thoughts were strung together well, and I stayed conscious for it, so that's always a plus. Hobbs, sorry this wasn't... I need to do the freaky... movie review, which I haven't done, but this one was fresh in my mind, so I wanted to go ahead and do that. I've been intending to do some of the taste tests over the last couple days, but yeah, it hasn't happened, so... It's kind of like today, if I hadn't set my alarm, I would have missed the movie, because I would have been asleep when I was supposed to be leaving to go see it. So, but anyway, that's my string of consciousness about Mortal Kombat. I do hope it gets a sequel. I feel the sequel will potentially, like I said, be the best of the best. It could be the X2 of the Mortal Kombat movies for me. But we have to get there, and it's just it's opening day on opening weekend of, so hopefully it does well. Hopefully it does well enough to warrant a sequel, and I'll just be waiting who knows how many years for that. So as long as COVID doesn't shut everything down again. There was a trailer for The Quiet Place 2. Didn't they already have a part 2? Or did because of COVID it didn't happen? Like, I'm so confused. I'm like, Quiet Place 2, they already had one. But maybe they didn't. Maybe it was about to happen, and then COVID shut everything down. Kind of like with Black Widow and Wonder Woman 2 and, all that other stuff. Maybe at Ghostbusters. Maybe it got pushed back. I don't know. But anyway, now I'm really just stringing thoughts together, and I'm going to let you go, and I will see you for what I see you.